What's up, people? I'm Shaggy, the Opinionated Hippie, continuing and for now finishing my deep dive into Bruce Springsteen's studio albums. I'm going to do some live stuff. We got 2020's Letter to You, his 20th. A lot of 20s going on there. I'm going to discuss this album, then I'm going to rank it among all the other 19 that I've already done. And I'm just going to start off by saying this is a good album. I really, really enjoy this album. Way too many times in my life, I've been fans of an artist or a band, and then they put out a couple albums that I may be mediocre on, and then they drop another one. I don't get it right away. I read a bunch of reviews in which they're like, dude, he's back. He's back. The band is back. The man is back. The woman is back. This is like old school, whatever, classic. And anytime that hype happens, it usually ends up disappointing me. I don't think the hype was that huge for this album because he has been pretty consistent ever since those that Lucky Town Human Touch albums. But there was a lot of hype and critical praise for this, so I was a little like, it's 50 years in right now, but it's a pretty good album. I think it falls in that category of Bruce albums. Like you got the acoustic albums, right? The quartet, Nebraska Tom Devils, Western. And now I think you have a solid quartet of really strong, really consistent, radio-friendly, big rock albums, Born to Run, Born in the USA, Magic, and Letter to You. This is the weakest of the four, but it's not a bad album by any stretch, but I definitely think it belongs in those four, where it's just these it's the E Street Band. We don't have any Irish folk seeping in for endless periods. We don't have Tom Morello shredding. We don't have anybody dropping bars in the middle of a song. We don't have strings, being like the main accent for most of the album. We just have Bruce and the E Street Band. We got some great piano, some great drums, some great organ, a nice big sound. We got some saxophone. It's what you want out of Bruce. This is Bruce being a mature, much older man doing what he does best, just writing good songs with people he's comfortable with and delivering a solid album. I'm going to have complaints because I'm going to nitpick. That's the purpose of making these videos, is to be somewhat, I don't know. I'm not going to just pour gravy all over it and say it's the most delicious thing I've ever eaten, but it's a really good listen. One of the things that I think helps it, but it's not responsible for why it's good, is there were 3 songs here from early 70s that he originally had written for his debut album and never got around to recording, and he's now putting them out. They might be the 3 best songs on here, but it's not like you got these 3 and everything else. They're 3 of the best songs among what I think is a pretty solid collection of songs. But they are Janie Needs a Shooter, which Warren Zevon did, If I Was the Priest, which I believe Alan Clark covered, and then Song for Orphans, which I don't think has been covered up till now. 2 of them, If I Was the Priest and Song for Orphans, have a definite Dylan vibe. And I think if he had recorded them and released them in either of the first 2 albums, that Dylan comparison might have done them under and been like, okay, this is too Dylan-y. But with the distance, with the experience, now it's almost like this really awesome homage to Dylan. It's not painfully obvious, but there are Dylan traits in both of the songs that jump out at me. And then the other one, Janie Needs a Shooter, the way it's produced and played on this album, it could fit easily on Darkness or On the River. It's got that big kind of mid-tempo storytelling vibe. Absolutely fantastic. Some really cool things. The band sounds good. There's this awesome sort of kind of stark Western meets Dick Dale meets just 60s surf rock type guitar that kind of haunts a number of these songs and comes in with just just slow and methodical, but very atmospheric. That works really well. And there's one song, The Power of Prayer, which kind of has everything you ever want in a Bruce Springsteen song. And the song is called Power of Prayer. So we're going to get close to being a little too maybe earnest or a little too cheesy, uplifting, but everything is done so perfectly in a Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band sense that we never reach that point where okay, this is just too cheesy or too much. But by the end of the song, it's it just absolutely works. And it's just It's almost like the perfect template for how to make a Bruce Springsteen song, whether we're in the 70s, 80s, 90s, O's, the aughts, or now. Really neat little song. But yeah, really, I like this album, but I do have some complaints. It opens up with a song called 1 Minute You're Here, which is probably the most simplest thing on here. Pretty simple, acoustic, nice finger pinky melody, a gentle song that kind of really doesn't go anywhere. I'm usually open for songs like this to open an album, but I don't think there's much to this song. Like, I don't think the melody particularly grabs me. The lyrics aren't bad, but they don't particularly grab me. I actually think this might have worked better just buried deep somewhere within the album for variety. But I will say this. Oh, part of the melody reminds me of, right before, I think it's the chorus, reminds me of a Neil Diamond song from like late 60s Neil Diamond, kind of like his little storytelling vibe. When he would do like just those more intimate guitar songs, like stuff you would hear on Hot August Night on like the second side. It's a pretty chill song. It just doesn't leave much an impression on me. But when we get to the second song, Letter to You, we drop into this just perfect Springsteen, pop rock, nice guitar, nice organ presence. Just this absolutely, it is so effective after coming out the sparse like acoustic original. I think the Letter to You is a letter to a child. It's got really good like energy about giving advice. Like, this is what I've learned in my life. It's definitely something like an older person would write. That guitar starkness kind of haunts the song throughout. It's a great vocal performance. This is very much Bruce settling into like the perfect vibe of dad rock, but it absolutely works. Like, he nails it. It's not rocking too hard, but it definitely has a little bit of rock energy to it. Great start. And I'm not sure, 1 Minute You're Here, I don't think is an effective opener. It just doesn't whelm me in any way. But it sets up Letter to You so well that I think it makes Letter to You better. So I'm almost willing to forgive it and be like, yeah, I'm okay with this. Burning Train is next, which the build up to this kind of reminds me of an 80s big country song. Like, we're going to get something rollicking and kind of like maybe a little folky, like traditional, but at the same time, it's just going to rock. But then when we drop into the song, we get this nice, almost like Arcade Fire type building momentum as the song goes. Something off like an early arcade, like Neon Bible, not Neon Bible, like on Funeral. Just that really building, swelling energy. But in this case, Burning Train, it's like train energy. I can't say the song immediately had me in the beginning. Like, I like the opening that teases the sort of big country energy. I don't like that initial drop, but then halfway through that, I'm like, okay, yeah, you're winning me over. You're committed to this. This is a good song. We get the first of the 73 songs, Janie Needs a Shooter. This could fit on Darkness. This could fit on River. It's your big storytelling mid-tempo song that just has that big Bruce song that's just sound that's just absolutely perfect. E Street Band sounds absolutely perfect. Then we get Last Man Standing. Kind of drops into a sparser intro with a nice drop, but we still there's low start guitars, they're still kind of there. It's kind of just your average mid-tempo rock. Maybe the most, I don't know, middle of the road thing on here so far. Maybe if you were going to edit the album to make it a little bit shorter, this one can go, but it's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. I just don't think it offers anything as unique as the first 4 songs. Then The Power of Prayer, which shouldn't work, but absolutely does. Nice piano intro, full drop. There's a melancholy, nostalgic sort of tone and like melody to a number of these songs that remind me of stuff off Magic. Just that it's a very mature adult vibe. Like, he also kind of flirts with it a little bit on Born in the USA, on Downbound Train. It's just this, like, he's kind of sad, but he's kind of hopeful, and it's just this vibe. I don't know how to describe it, but he does it so well. And The Power of Prayer kind of flirts with that vibe. But then you got some really tasty piano. The guitar sound is fantastic. There's a Benny King reference. He's referenced in the past. A soaring sax solo at the end. Like, you get every ingredient for a Bruce Springsteen pop rock radio hit as possible in this song. Lyrically, emotionally, melodically, saxophonically. Like, it's just Not the best song on the album, but it's what Bruce does. Then we get House of a Thousand Guitars, which I didn't like at first, but I kind of got a little bit used to it over the years. He does say the phrase House of a Thousand Guitars way too many times. Nice piano entry. We get like some organ that comes in. We do get a drop about a minute and a half in. That same longing vibe is here. Nice big sax finish, almost following the template of the first song, but just, or the Power for a Prayer song, but just not as successfully. Then we get Rainmaker, one of those kind of looking for something to believe in type songs. Droughts here, crops aren't growing, things aren't feeling too good. It's just one of those yeah, things are rough, but maybe there's hope. Maybe the Rainmaker, he can promise us things, he can deliver in a way that we don't understand, but we're going to put our faith in him. Yeah, I think one of the lesser songs on here, but it works. And then we get what I think is the best song on here, If I Was the Priest. This feels musically like a 66 Dylan sound, some fantastic organ, but structurally like something off Desire, like this epic storytelling thing where you get all these details, and in this case you get a repeated chorus that comes on, but it has that Dylan momentum of a story that just builds and builds and builds over the course of it. A lot of these have a soft intro and then a drop, and I'm like, I don't want the drop. This one, all of it works. I'm okay when the drop happens. We stay with this really nice long vibe, just kind of riding the same musical energy over and over as Dylan would do. We get this like bring it down moment in the middle, but then we bring it back up and continue on the journey. It's just a great chorus. We get a little bit of a guitar solo ending that could be longer. There's a fun storytelling vibe of it. And the whole chorus about like, what if you were if you were Jesus and I was the priest and mama was this and she was this, and it's just fantastic. It's next level stuff. And this is one where I think if he had dropped this in 73, the Dylan comparisons might just be a little more obvious. We get Ghost, which had just nice pounding drum intro into somewhat of a big kind of a Detroit guitar sound. It has this repeated guitar refrain that reminds me of like a Buddy Holly song or Framed or something from like, or I Fought the Loss, some like late 50s, early 60s vibe. Maybe it's I Fought the Law, I don't know, but there's something there that it reminds me of. And then we get the third of the 73 songs, Song for Orphans. The melody for this, we got harmonica. We got this melody that kind of flirts somewhere between like My Back Pages and Blowing in the Wind. Very Dylan-esque melody. It sounds like a 70s song. Really nice slide guitar. And this also has that just epic kind of Dylan vibe. Very 73 lyrics. You can see this fit easily on the first two albums with all the like name drops and the storytelling. Another great song. And then we close out with this gentle acoustic ballad called I'll See You in My Dreams. I love this album. I think it's a really, really, really strong album. The 73 songs, I think, lift everything to a next level and are easily the best three songs on here. But the title track is fantastic. Burning Train is great energy. The Power of Prayer flirts with being cheesy, but never actually gets to being cheesy, so it kind of works. And the songs that I think are weaker, Last Man Standing, maybe Rainmaker, maybe that's a little more in between. Ghost, still have their moments and still have things to love about them and still have things that I think absolutely work. For an effort in 2020, like almost 50 years, after he started making music, this is fantastic. Question is, where would I rank it among all the others? Didn't make the top 10, but I do have it at number 11. So right there. Sorry, this is getting really bright. I have a whole new setup because my computer broke, so I'm using a monitor right now. I'll fix it eventually. But I have it at number 11. It's pretty close though. And also I've only been listening to it for 5 years, and some of those I've listened for much longer. I still think it could rise. I still think it's really, really good. Those three songs are fantastic. I don't see it passing Tunnel of Love because I absolutely... Oh, that's right. You can't even see the monitor right now because I have the list up. Sorry. I don't see it passing Tunnel of Love because every time I listen to it, that gets better. I could maybe see it passing Devils and Dust at this point, but that's probably about it. But it's good. I recommend it if you haven't checked it out. It is some good Bruce. But that's all I got for Springsteen for now. Yeah, I'm going to do some live stuff, and then those Lost albums are supposed to drop at some point, I think this year. So I will definitely return to those when those come out. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on this album, what you think about this, what you think of Bruce, all that kind of stuff, things I messed up on, things I might have missed. But yeah, thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, share, comment, do all those things, and peace. Talk to you later.